$15,000 building
wow.
outdoor fireplace. You're going to tell them that.
It should be part of the discussion.
Right.
What I'm saying is, it should be.
They need a permit.
It says, if
So how they
everybody
get a permit?
says, today we're against open fires because it's ecologically not good for the air, or something like that, it's okay, fine, it applies to everybody. But this law is saying that it allows us, and we may have a law that says that all the other residents can't do it.
The very people that are complaining the most
I don't want to get into that.
on the night
I don't
of
want to get into that. I just want it to be
and
consistent.
open
We just want
fires.
to be
We
right.
just want to do it right.
Yeah.
And a separate issue on the residential side.
Okay, so we'll table it back to okay. Public hearing on the proposed rental housing law. Anybody else comment on that?
The one that doesn't deal with individual persons.
I don't see any comments.
Yeah, I have a couple of comments. Felicia Chilak, 60 Washington Street. I have a question on the definition of a boarding house or rooming house. It says a building that provides sleeping accommodations with or without compensation for 16 or fewer persons. So that could be anybody in this room. How you can deem my house a boarding house because I have 2 people there because it says 16 or fewer. Should it not be 16 or more?
Fred, from what I understand, it's one person, 2 people per bedroom, correct?
It's not written in here.
Not specific mention of those that, however, that definition was obtained from other municipalities, and that would have to be reviewed by the village attorney. And it would not apply to this resident's home unless, of course, she's saying that she's renting that home.
Well, I'm talking about the whole law here. I mean, you have a definition. I'm questioning, is that definition correct? And that brings me to my second question. What is Frank's qualifications for writing this law?
What's anyone's qualifications is ridiculous.
I'm just asking.
Okay, yeah.
I'm asking a question. Just please answer
Right.
it.
Head of public safety.
Exactly.
Okay. But code enforcement generally enforces the laws, not writing the laws.
Well, who are you? What are your qualifications? to
I'm a realtor.
challenge his qualifications?
I'm a resident asking a question, this is a public hearing. I'm allowed to ask a
He's the head
question.
of public safety.
Okay, so that's your answer. That's all. Just give me the answer. And then I have another question. Mayor Parrish, originally you said you want to know who lives there in the houses. Are you familiar with the Fair Housing Act and how it relates to your identifying who lives in the house?
No.
Okay, I think you should look into it before you start deciding to make a statement about who's living there, because you may be in violation of the Fair Housing Act.
Paragraph 14 Highland. Why is there so much obstruction in this room? Just a rhetorical question. Obstruction.
Any other comments have to do with the proposed rental housing law? I can't see either one of you, so you have to come up here, say your name, say your address, make your comment.
My name is Debbie Stevens. I live on the same street as the mayor. And I bought my house in 1991. And I moved in 1992. And I bought it from a couple who were going through a very angry divorce. And the 17-year-old son, I'm going to cry telling the story, went under the ground and cut all the wires. And there was graffiti all over the place. There were cracked tiles. There were all kinds of things. Bramble, overgrown. I can't tell you what I spent on that house, fixing that house up. Planted 72 arborvitaes, had bobcats come in and clean and all kinds of stuff. Added to the house, got the COs, did everything properly. And I have an apartment because I'm alone and my taxes are really, really high. I had to hear Harry say I have people living in my garages. Not true. I have 2 driveways, one on Singing Wood and one on Indian Valley. And each driveway can hold, the new one can probably hold 12 cars comfortably. And the original one on Singing Wood holds 6 or 8 cars comfortably. And the mayor and the village attorney have gone around and taken pictures of my house and the cars there. I had a person living there renting an apartment who hasn't been there since June. Now, I have a girlfriend, and the house is almost 7,000 square feet. I have a girlfriend living there with her 2 daughters. I never had children, I couldn't have children. And I am getting harassed because my girlfriend lives with me with her 2 daughters who are finally able to take advantage of the $500,000 I have paid in taxes in this village. And I am getting harassed. I got another call from code enforcement, and I've been like Dawn, all I do is want to do the right thing. Harry plowed my driveway for 20 years. My ex left, I've been divorced. Not one time has Harry come and said, Deb, do you need any help? Can I help you? There's been no village. It's been so divisive. It's been terribly divisive. We need to help each other. And I'm being harassed like hell. I want to live my life. I want to live and let live. This shouldn't be. There shouldn't be. If there's one thing that bothers one person in this village, it shouldn't be. If there's one thing that makes somebody ill in this village, it shouldn't be. I don't know what to do anymore. I don't know what to do. If you come in and look at the house again, it was inspected once already with a smiley face. Mike came in, no apartments. Well, I'm good. And now I get a call. I come home at 10 o'clock. There's a message from code enforcement. They want to come into my house again. What's going on here?
Gestapo.
I don't know what to say. It's not fair. I don't want to say. I don't know what to say or do. I pick up everybody's papers. I clean up. I go. I don't ask for pats on the back. That you haven't helped. I don't even think you have a CO for your sunroom that Skip built for you 10 years ago.
You live in a basement.
I'd like to see that CO. You don't have it, and you live in a basement. How dare everybody? How dare everybody pick on me? How dare you? I'm so tired of it.
There's no comment.
Please, it's so not right.
Any other comments on this law?
Diana Padilla, 61 Washington Street. I find the continued creation of laws like this very oddly intrusive, and I haven't had the experience of some of my neighbors. I don't understand why it doesn't apply to illegal apartments that are rampant in the village. We have gazillions of those. Why isn't illegally renting something in your house covered by something like this? Why do we need such an intrusive law? And then have it only cover parts of things. Only have it cover people who have people living in their home with them, rather than underground basement apartments that aren't really apartments and they're legal because they're not covered by.
This law is covering
permits.
anything that's legal at this time. The board could
It
say
doesn't-
illegal apartments at another time.
Was there a reason why illegal apartments were not considered as part of this?
Any other comments?
One. Barbara Donovan, 26 Chestnut. Just a question, actually, to the attorney. I just want to know, is this particular law, it's just a simple question, does this in any way conflict with the free commerce law, allowing people to use their property that's legal to get money and you're charging them for that? It was just a question if you looked into the commerce law for this.
Thank you for your comment.
That was it, just the attorney.
No answer.
Okay, so, There's one more question. Oh, Roger, I'm sorry.
Can I do it from here? So, one of the first question is in doing this, is there any intent to limit the number of permits that would be issued?
No.
In doing this? And a second question is, what are the tax implications of getting one of these permits?
There's no tax implications. I think it's just a fee.
So Brookhaven doesn't somehow assess a house with a rental permit differently?
No.
One other comment is that one of the potential customers, I guess, of some house renting is Stony Brook University, and they have a policy that they won't list any property without it meeting some conditions. However, what's listed here doesn't meet those standards, and maybe these are minor things, but they want permits that are good for 15 months, and also there seems to be a way of having temporary registrations while the full permitting process is going on. One general is, it's not, as I read through this, it seems to only apply to houses that are being rented. Is that correct? So someone who has a bedroom can still rent out that bedroom to a person as long as it's not a separate apartment, they share a cooking. So that's not covered in this. This only applies to houses, as far as I can tell.
Yes.
Okay. So the questions about having people living within a house but not in a separate accessory apartment that's still possible and legal, and wouldn't be affected by this.
No, it's not. It all depends. It goes case by case, and it's nothing. It may or may not be legal.
Right, but this only seems to talk about houses. It doesn't. There's nothing in here about individual rooms within houses.
I'll take a look at it for that, with that comment. I don't know that I agree with that. I'll take a look at it with regarding that comment.
Because there are statements about what, say, an immediate family that doesn't cover domestic partners, for instance, and it would seem that if that's somehow
Constitutional challenge.
isn't correct.
We said at the prior meeting that, my comment at the prior meeting was that looking at the wall, there's a number of things that need to be changed, and that's, without going into what they are, that's, I will acknowledge that there's a number of things on the wall that need to be amended.
Because and there's something about a presumption of rent, and there are many, which essentially says if anyone's living, and this is where I think it only applies to houses, who isn't part of the owner's immediate family, then they're assumed to be renting. But if it's meant to apply to a house, then overnight guests and everything fall into this rental category, and it's way over a specific. I think there is a need to somehow get a handle on especially illegal apartments within the village, and maybe a no accessory apartment law is the way to start, rather than intruding on things that are possible now.
Okay, thank you.
Does it affect apartments and garages?
I don't want to comment, I have to look at the wall.
Any other comments?
Pass the law that you didn't read. Sound familiar?
Is there a motion?
I know he does. Both places.
Okay, so Joe, what I think we should do then for the business meeting, for the next board meeting, is wait until we finalize all these, have the board look all of them, review them, and then we can approve them.
Okay.
Okay, you know, have it on there to do some of those, if you're ready to do the, do the amount, we can do it next week.
We'll do it at the next meeting.
Okay. Okay, well, we're going to meeting for 7:45.